The top agriculture official in Texas in hot water over whether he received a Jesus shot. State Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller is facing questions about a trip to Oklahoma last year. Miller says he flew to the Oklahoma City to meet with lawmakers in February 2015, but officials say they never invited him and only met briefly. So if he didn't meet with lawmakers, what did he do? Well, he may have received a $300 injection called the Jesus shot to cure chronic pain brought on by his time as a rodeo cowboy. The Houston Chronicle has launched an investigation into the trip after budget records show Miller billed taxpayers at least $1,200 for flights and a rental car in 2015. So, did he break the law? That's our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page and on Twitter. You can use the hashtag Fox26forlife. Joining us live in the newsroom is our panel led by our senior legal analyst, Chris Tridico, Democratic media consultant, Mustafa Tamiz, and Republican strategist, public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. All right, so a difficult one to prove, right, Chris?
Well, the law is simple. You can't use public funds for personal issues like private medical concerns. If he flew to Oklahoma City to get a private meeting with a private doctor for this Jesus shot, then he cannot use public funds for that. And so if you fly to Oklahoma City and you then go and meet with public officials to then justify that flight to Oklahoma City and the cost associated with it, that's unlawful. And that is an unlawful use of public funds. That's what the Houston Chronicle is looking at. I read that Sid Miller has since agreed to pay those funds back. That's an admission in my view, and that's an admission that the Texas Ethics Commission will use against Sid Miller. These are the type of things that you can get indicted for and you can get removed from office for, Mustafa Tamiz, if you're using public funds to make a boondoggle to Oklahoma City to get private medical treatment.
I'm very disappointed in Sid Miller because, I had for a long time thought that we would call him the cupcake commissioner. Now he's got the Jesus shot commissioner, so I can't make up my mind which to call him. Look, this sounds very silly, right? But at the same time, this is a serious allegation. Using taxpayer money for personal use. That's what this underscore. And then the way it came out, the story read where he went there, he said that this originally that he was invited to come speak there, invited to look at something, but then he just showed up, took a picture with somebody, put it on Facebook, and then had a shot done. If that's the kind of behavior the agriculture commissioner in a state like Texas, where this is a very important position, acts, then we need a new one.
Those officials in Oklahoma City said, we didn't invite him here, he just showed up.
Well, you don't have to be invited. He did visit with them. He also gave a speech at the chamber, and he also gave a speech to several who are interested in agriculture. So he did not break the law specifically to answer Sally's question. He was performing the duties that an agricultural commissioner does. Let me give you some numbers, though. Our First Lady decided to go to the UK and Italy, and it cost taxpayers $241,000. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee decided to go to Korea, Vietnam, and Cambodia. It cost taxpayers $23,000. The city controller of Houston decided to go to New York. It cost the city $35,000. Sid Miller, we're talking about $1,100.
But if Sid Miller went for private medical treatment, that is unlawful.
Again,
you agree with that?
Spoke to it is not what he did. He went to
My question was if he went for private medical treatment,
he did not
you agree
go
it's
for
illegal?
that. He did not go for that. I just said earlier he went to speak to those at the chamber. He went to speak to those who are interested in agriculture. If he was there and did get a shot, of course they're going to talk about that, but he did not do anything illegal if he traveled to Oklahoma to speak to those who are interested in agriculture.
Then why did he agree to pay the money back?
Because you have people in the media who are attacking him.
Let me go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
Okay, let's take a look at Twitter right now. At 1962cap says, very easy to schedule an official visit in a personal travel and have the taxpayer foot the bill. Is this official corruption? Jamie Wynn says, I know someone who got this shot, claims it works. Apparently this is the only American doctor who can dole out this combo of drugs, and he's a convicted felon himself who lives in Oklahoma. And then this guy says, this fabulous article here by Brian Rosenthal with the Chronicle makes me wonder which is crazier, Texas politics or Oklahoma medicine.
I don't know anything about this Jesus shot or this doctor. And if it works, it works. Great.
Yeah.
And look, if Sid Miller was on official business and he was able to get this shot at the same time, then more power to him. I don't know the answer to that. That's what investigations are for. But the problem he has, he agreed to pay the money back.
You can't make this stuff up, right? I mean, you know, the officials say that they never invited him. They said he just walked in, said hello. Jackie's talking about there were some speeches made, but we don't really see that. It wasn't in the story. And I think it's frustrating to me that every time we see something like this or anything, we go ahead and blame the president, like Michelle Obama took a trip, or we blame the media.
And
so this
That's
kind of line,
alone.
right? This constant, perpetual blaming the president and blaming the media is making it difficult to govern because you're not responsible for anything because all you do is you blame the media.
And it's a lot of liberals don't want to hear the facts. I'm not blaming the president. This is reported by Judicial Watch. She spent $240,000 bringing her mother and her daughters on a trip at the taxpayer's expense for flight expense alone. And all of these other officials that I talked about, they spent taxpayer dollars. That's not blaming anyone. It's a fact. That's what they did.
Were those official trips?
That's what they're claiming.
All right.
Oh, also spending in for the $35,000 that
All right,
came
we
out
gotta
of the
wrap.
city controller at a penthouse
We
in New
gotta-
York.